Welcome again, Prime Minister. My name is Alex Singh. I said 10 years ago I had the pleasure of speaking with you for about an hour when you were Education Minister, and I found you to be very progressive. You talked about liberty and freedom in Jamaica in your speech earlier. And one of the things that people, I'm jumping, but one of the things in Jamaica is that homosexuality is not a crime. As far as I know, it's not a crime. However, one of our former Prime Ministers, Mr. Bruce Golding, said on HARDtalk that he will have no gays in his cabinet. And it went on to make Jamaica seem to be more of a homophobic nation than probably it actually is. Would you reiterate those words today, or would
Absolutely
you?
not. No, it's not. Firstly, it's not my business. Yeah. Neither it is my interest to, and I don't. Whatever is in my discretion to distribute politically, a person's sexuality, sexual orientation, is not a criteria for the use of my discretion.
And I'm just going to tag on as well, just if you'll permit me, Prime Minister, because someone actually tweeted today a picture of me. Minister, I know you wouldn't have known anything about this, but thanks for the opening. A picture of me speaking at an OAS meeting last year saying, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Jamaica at Kamina J. Smith, blocking a resolution to protect LGBT community against discrimination. Absolute lie. Like absolute untrue. I'm not going to use the F word. News. I'm just going to say. I'm just going to say that is untrue. And you know, I remember the meeting last year before we had even started negotiations. There are tweets that were starting saying Jamaica is blocking. Jamaica wasn't even at the table yet, you know. But Jamaica is blocking this. There's a narrative that it suits some to raise it. I'm not sure what the motive is, but our society is a tolerant society. It's transforming. It's changing. We don't have the same principles and values necessarily that some countries have in terms of the level of openness, but we are transforming and we are fundamentally tolerant. But there's a narrative that people are trying to sow about us. And I think it's good for us to always get the facts. Yeah. So I'm thankful that you would ask the Prime Minister a factual question.
It's not an issue that we are afraid to address. Yeah. The truth is that in the past, like many developed countries now, there was a very conservative view on these matters. But Jamaica is a part of Western culture. We are generally liberally oriented. We are very well connected into the world. So Jamaica is going through its own process, just as Europe did 50 years ago and some probably 20 years ago or more recent than that. And it can be very frustrating for Jamaicans who understand what is happening to feel a little bit targeted sometimes. But, you know, the culture is evolving. The people are evolving. And even in the church, which 10 years ago had a unified position, the church in Jamaica now has multiple positions on the issue. So I think Jamaica ought to be given space to find its own solution to the problem. But, you know, I think we are generally very liberal, but more so very tolerant. And I think the first steps that are positive steps is that the state protects the human rights of every citizen, regardless of sexual orientation or inclination. And I think that's the first start. As it relates to the civil rights, I think the culture needs to evolve, the conversation needs to be had, and it can't be stoked or pushed. It is something that will evolve, and over time, and probably a short time, Jamaica's position will be very settled on the matter.